Peace and blessings, beloved family, and thank you all once again for being here with us this evening on Occult Science Radio. I am Curtis Davis, aka the Illuminated One, and tonight we have with us, I call them the Power Couple, because they have given to us a system, to put as plainly as I possibly can, for controlling your own reality. And this is something that I have been a proponent of for many, many years, because unfortunately many people think that our reality is controlled for us. But this beloved brother and sister have given to us a system that allows us, that takes us out of victimhood, if you will, and takes us into being victorious. And I've been looking forward to this interview for quite some time. I'm talking about brother and sister Sharif and Sakkara Ali. And for those of you who are familiar with their work, you know that we are in for some very powerful information this evening. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with their work, once again, sit tight. We're in for some very powerful information this evening. So we're going to start off by thanking our sponsor, TON, the Occult Network. That's www.theoccultnetwork.com. And as you always heard me say before, people have taken to calling us the esoteric HBO. It's time to step aside and bring this, the king and the queen, to the forefront. Brother Sharif and sister Sakkara Ali. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
I want to start off by saying thank you so much for inviting us onto the show tonight. It is truly an honor. It's all about information. We commend you for all the knowledge and information that you put out and share with the world, and it is great. And it is our pleasure to bring this knowledge to you and the listeners tonight. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, indeed. I've been following you and Brother Sharif's work, and there's only one word that I can describe it: powerful. And so, believe me, I'm here to tell you and Brother Sharif that this is just the first of many appearances to come, because I've looked at the material that you both sent me, and this is material that really needs to get out to the masses. So please, brother and sister, you know what? Also, I'm envious. I must admit, I am hating, because I did some research on Brazil, and it is a paradise over there. So the fact that you two were able to leave the United States and move to Brazil, and with what I see what's going on over there, yes, I am definitely hating. Please tell us, give us a little background on yourselves and what led y'all to really put together the powerful information that you all both have.
Okay.
All right. Well, to introduce, my name's Sharif and my wife Sakkara. We've been married for a while now, about almost 10 years, and we've been on this path towards higher consciousness for, I would almost say for the entire time, but on an accelerated pace for the last 6 or 7 years. And basically, we've just been learning about pretty much every school of thought that you can imagine. And it led us on to our current destination, which is our second home, our home away from home in a state called Bahia. Lovely Bahia in the country of Brazil. And basically, we've been learning about everything from metaphysics to everything occult that you can think of. All the knowledge that's been hidden from the mainstream for a while. We've just been digging into everything, and we've been able to put some of these practices into work into our life. We've had a lot of eye-opening spiritual experiences that have led us to believe that the true power within is incredible and something that is is so wonderful that it's almost beyond words, something indescribable. And it's led us to be very diligent and serious on our search or our quest for truth. And we've been looking within for a while. And we've been blessed to meet some teachers along the way who have pointed us in the right direction for us, that have allowed us to take things to a higher level. And we definitely want to share everything that we've learned with the world, because we believe this is the time to do it. I mean, we believe that we're entering, or that we're already in the Aquarian age, and that pretty much the entire planet is ready to go to a higher level of living, or a higher dimension, or however you want to put it. And we're here to help, to do our part. And that's what this whole system that we've created is about. And it's basically about helping people to tap back into their source, and to tap into their inner source of power, to reach their potential or release their potential, because it's not something that you actually have to reach for in that sense. It's something that's already there. It's almost hidden right in your face, and we want to help everybody get in touch with that.
I see. Now, I've heard you and your queen on other shows, and I've read your bio. You both basically come from a business background. You know, I believe you both, or one of you attended business school. Now, what is the difference between what they teach you in the business schools of the universities here in the West, as well as globally, and what you and your queen are offering us now?
Okay, well, I think the main emphasis is put on lack and scarcity. And it's not to say that all of the principles in business are off or out of way with the universal laws, but there's a big focus on scarcity and lack. And what happens is, okay, that when you implement that, and when countries as powerful as the United States take that as their stronghold for business models, you have countries that have tons of food left over, supplies, food, all types of materials that people need, and they would rather just waste it or throw it away than share it with the world, because there's a belief that you have to hoard things so that they'll create a demand. You have to create a demand if there isn't a demand, so that there'll always be so that you always have a supply. You'll always have people who want this, and just that whole flawed business concept. That's why you have all the protests going on around the world right now. People are getting sick of it, and I think there's a hunger rising up in the people for something better. I think people all over the world want something better, and there may be a better way to go about it than the protest that's going on. I don't know how organized they are, but the people want something better. I think we both believe that going within can help you out a lot, but I think the whole world is ready for it. And this business concept is worldwide, because the U.S. is the most successful example. So whatever's being practiced there is being practiced all over the place.
True indeed.
Yeah.
So now, when we talk about the 40-day master system, I can't wait to get into this, because, ever since you sent it to me, I've been really examining it. And I must say, you and your queen really have something special here. And this is something that needs to be widely spread, because the ebook, along with the MP3s that I reviewed prior to this interview, believe me, it really, if one really gets into it, okay, it really, really can have an impact. But before we get into the program and, get a brief synopsis of the program, why exactly did you pick the number 40? What's the significance of the number 40?
Okay. There are numerous references to the number 40 throughout history and different cultures, ancient cultures, science, astronomical references and numerology all over the place. When you look in into the Bible or biblical history, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Torah, you constantly have references to the amount of 40, whether it's 40 years. For instance, Moses led the Jews when they fled Egypt. They were stuck in the desert for 40 years, which means they were in waiting for 40 years before they could get out and go to their paradise. So also when you look at Jesus had to be tempted for 40 days and 40 nights by Satan before he got his blessing, which was like a higher level of enlightenment. And whenever you have this 40-day period, when the person comes out of this trial period, there's some type of reward, there's some type of blessing, and that's the current theme, or that's the theme that runs throughout all of these different references. And there's definite significance to that on that level. And you also have scientific reviews that show that anything done for 40 days, as far as when you're working with the mind, anything done for 40 days is going to be set and locked into your mind, so that you can actually set a pattern that will be almost automatically set in your mind. So when you're combining that ability with the actual MP3s that are configured to work directly to your subconscious mind, and actually recorded in that brainwave frequency that your mind operates on, is very powerful. And you can imagine just anything that you do for a large amount of time anyway, that's how you form habits anyway. That's why when we want to do something or turn something into a habit, we do it in repetition. And this is the same concept, and it's also using science to take it to a higher level.
I see, because, the reason why I can really appreciate, this information, and I guess the reason why it's so powerful, because one of the things you've done is you've included the feminine principle. This is something that you and your queen put together with each other, as opposed to you just writing it. And believe me, I've always felt that the difference between the men and women is that in many instances we tend to operate from our egos, whereas the sisters operate from their intuition, their sixth sense. So in my estimation, from me examining this material, what really, I can tell that your queen had a lot of input in it, because, the information is very right-brained. It's very spiritual. And basically, what jumped out at me is something that I've always believed, that what's out there, what's out in the external world is just a mirror of your internal world. Okay, so now, if you look out at your external world and you don't like it, then you have to change the internal. I've been studying this for a very long time. And when I began studying it and I began to realize that I control my reality, it was totally liberating, because then it let me know that, well, wait a minute, I'm not a victim of the economy, I'm not a victim of the recession, I'm not a victim of racism, I'm not a victim of white supremacy, and so on and so forth. That basically, for as long as I'm in this earth realm, I control my world. It was very liberating. I can't begin to put it in words. So please, brother, sister, tell us how exactly we can go about making that change. How can we tap into that God within us? Well, I think the first step is to realize that God is within you, not up in the sky.
That's right. That's right.
That's true. And that's a hard thing for a lot of people to accept. Just with you admitting that you know that you're in charge of your reality, that's a powerful statement, because most people don't want to take responsibility for their surroundings, the situation that they find themselves in.
But it's really about redirecting that focus. You turn in the negative into positive and making it work for you. I mean, everybody has good points and bad points in their life that they remember that they're going through. But if you learn to redirect that energy and to not see things as negative and positive, because it's all in balance. Everything has a negative and a positive. There's the North Pole and the South Pole.
Yep.
So it's all about balance and redirecting that focus.
That's true. And basically your subconscious mind, the way that it works, it controls most of the complex body functions that you have going on. Things like your heartbeat and your lungs and things that you're not even thinking about. So there's no doubt that your subconscious mind is powerful and can handle a lot of information. And even with all the things that it's doing, it still can handle more. So that's an amazing thing in itself. And your subconscious mind is connected to your super consciousness, which is like the highest spiritual form of you that's always connected to everything consciously. And your subconscious mind is in a state where it has to be redeemed. And if you look at any of the teachings that a lot of the master teachers like Neville Goddard and Reverend Ike have been teaching for years, this is what they've been trying to tell everyone, how to put your higher self or your subconscious back on the throne. Because your super consciousness is always connected to the source. It knows all, it is everywhere, so it doesn't need to be redeemed. But your subconsciousness is the one that's, in a sense, has fallen, and it's not fallen in the sense that it is actually, is in a lower state. It's just that we don't consciously use it and tap into it, and it must be restored. You have to put your subconscious mind back on the throne. It has to be ruling over your lower self and your emotions and your ego. And it's not saying that in the sense that your emotions and all these things are bad. It's just that they have to be subordinate to the subconscious mind. There's a hierarchy. And then, like from a physical standpoint, there's a hierarchy with your pituitary gland and hypothalamus on the sides. And the hypothalamus is sitting over the pituitary, and your pineal is supposed to be at the top. If your head was the Starship Enterprise, the spaceship, your pineal gland would be the chair in the center where Captain Kirk sits, and the pituitary and the hypothalamus are on the side. So it's not really like that for most people, because we're being run by emotions. The hypothalamus controls body temperature, hunger, thirst, sleep. And the pituitary also secretes these hormones. So we're being run by hormones and emotions and things like this. And we have to sit. Our subconscious mind has to be back at the seat. It has to be at the throne. And we use our emotions and things to work for us as tools, instead of the way that it is where most people react to their trigger words and stuff like this so quickly. And to really get into it, this is the key to releasing yourself, to being able to live out your desires. If you're in control of your emotions and things like this, you're not going to be just saying anything, saying the first thing that pops into your mind, and speaking your own existence, or speaking things into your own existence that you may not really want or desire. Because a lot of times when you're angry or upset, you might just say something that, what's a good example? That's
hurtful or that's negative. And
yeah, if your head is hurting.
You can speak it up into your everyday life, and it make it very unpleasant to live out those words, those heavy words that you've spoken up.
And just like you were saying with racism, or speaking about the recession, or how bad the economy is doing, or you're not making enough money, things like this, you're making it worse for yourself. Actually, we're speaking on that, and we're worsening our own condition with our own mind state. So we're not supposed to be controlled by the emotions and the lower forms of our ego and stuff like this. Your subconscious has to be at the forefront, and this is what our system helps you to do, actually. But this is the most important thing. If you ask me, I'd say this is the key. This is what we've been learning over years and been implementing it into our own lives to the point where we know that this is the key for us, that we actually control our reality. And then we've met people who are living this who also help point us in the right direction. So it's pretty much set as far as we're concerned. We know that this is the key. This is how you can turn your life around. And we want everybody to know this because this is the big secret.
That's right.
This is why there's so much media attention being put towards the recession and anything negative you can think about. Why would so much money be spent over promoting movies about Armageddon and things like this? Especially when if you look into the actual ancient texts and things that talk about this age that we're in, everything is actually saying that
we should be rejoicing.
Yeah, we're entering into a new age where we're pretty much free to create whatever world we want. So somebody wants us to start creating more of the same or something worse.
Oh yeah.
So the mind is powerful, and this is the time for us to take charge and to put our higher self back on that throne. That's what it's all about, raising up that Christ energy within you. The Christ must rise, your inner Christ, the Krishna, Christos energy. It has to come up within you. So that's what the whole rise of the Messiah is about, and it's about us coming up.
Now, how important is visualization and affirmations in tapping into our subconscious mind and therefore altering our reality?
Well, I think visualization is extremely important because that's pretty much how the mind works. It sees things in pictures. Of course, words are important too because we speak things into existence, but when you actually think, you think in terms of pictures. So when you can actually picture what you want and get the feeling from that, because the feeling gets the blessing. That's what Reverend Ike said, the late great Reverend Ike. But if you can picture what you want, visualize it, hold that in your head, and then actually put the imagination to it towards feeling it, that's how you create. And that's also how you get the other components running that can make this visualization become a physical manifestation. So it's all in how powerful, how you can make your mind. It's all in the mind work, what you can really do. And visualization is extremely powerful. And the affirmations are extremely powerful because you're speaking into existence. You do this on a repetitive basis. That's how you really make things happen, because you have to form an imprint on your subconscious mind, because we have not all of us, but most of us have a lot of bad habits, and these bad habits have been getting formed over years or over weeks or however long we've been doing it. So you have to do the same work in the other direction with whatever positive affirmations or whatever it is that you're trying to visualize. And a lot of people get caught up because they may think that it's not coming, whatever it is that they're working on, and with their mind, they may not think that it's coming because it takes some work. You have to make that imprint on your mind.
And by having that negative energy attached to it, by saying, "Oh, it's taking too long and it's not going to happen," well, you're actually pushing it further away from you by doing that.
And
That's right.
It's funny that you mentioned Reverend Ike, because, it brings to mind, how in many instances we are miseducated by the media. Now, for many years, I thought he was, a fake. He was just a money pimp, if you will. But then, as I got older and I really began to examine what he was teaching, he was basically teaching everyone the science of mind. And I began to look at Reverend Ike and his teachings in a totally different manner. As you just said, as you quoted him a few minutes ago, the feeling gets the blessing. And one of the things that I've learned, and you and your queen also mentioned it in the 40-day master system, is that when you're visualizing, don't visualize what you want in the future. Visualize yourself as already having in the now. So yeah, please go in. You and the Queen take as much time to go in on that, because I found that that's really, really important. A lot of times when people visualize something, they always put it out there. Act as if, visualize it as if it's already manifested.
All right. Well, I think that's extremely important, because the way your subconscious mind works, okay, whatever you tell it to do, it almost accepts it as fact. It will just do it, whether it's ridiculous or not. It doesn't matter if it's something that's just way out there or what. It's gonna just accept it, because if you tell yourself something with confidence, your mind is gonna take that as the way to go. That's why it's not good for you to say I'm broke or whatever, especially because you really feel that. You're putting emotion into it. So if you're putting your whatever it is that you desire out into the future and you're wanting it, you're always going to be wanting it, because you don't really see yourself as having it. You're not actually putting yourself into whatever it is that you're visualizing, because that's really what the key is, or where the key lies in. It's in actually putting yourself in the spot. Whatever it is that you're seeing for yourself, you have to see it from the first perspective. Actually see yourself doing it in the now, because we all exist in the now. Everything is in the now. If you actually want to step back and look at the bigger scope of things, we're all still at the same point of creation. Nothing has ever happened in the future or in the past. Everything is in the now. It's all about what's going on right now. So you don't want to put anything off, because you're going outside of creation. That's not how things work. Everything's happening in the now. And if you're wanting something, you're always going to want it.
Yep. And from personal experience, like when we was coming here to Bahia, before we got here, we was doing research about it, and we had really busy schedules, and we had children and school and businesses that we was running, but we put up beautiful pictures of Bahia and the beach, and no matter how busy we were, we put it right in our kitchen, right there where we see it every day, and no matter how busy or what we were doing, we'll stop and look and just smile and be like, that is beautiful, that's what we want, and keep on going with our day. And it came to life.
We even had a picture right over our bed.
When we wake up in the morning, that's what we see, because that's what we desired.
And then a lot of the places that we had pictures of, we actually wound up living in those places, like those neighborhoods and stuff. So it was really wild. We had it where we could actually look out the window and see that scene, or whatever scene that we had of the beach or something like that. So
it's real, and it can happen for anybody.
Wow. Brother Sharif and Sister Sakkara Ali are the authors of the 40-day master system. So basically, like I said, ever since I got my hands on the system, I really began to pay attention. And it's one of the most awesome systems that I've ever seen. It really warmed my heart to see, a brother and a sister put together something like this. Because of course you have other books out there like Think and Grow Rich and The Magic of Believing and so on and so forth. But I found a lot of them to be missing something, especially The Secret that came out a few years ago. Which, in my opinion, when they put that together, their hearts were in the right place, but there was also a lot that was missing. And from what I understand, for people that I've talked to who really put The Secret together, that many people, and I have to be fair here, a lot of times you can't always blame it on the system. You have to blame it on the person, because as we were talking, that if you undertake something and you don't have faith in it, then it's not the system that's not working, it's you that's not working. It's your lack of faith or quote unquote believing that short-circuited your efforts. So now, what would you say, brother and sister, the difference between your system and say The Secret?
Well, first off, I would just say that I'm knocking any other system or talking bad about it or anything like that. But I would just say that as far as what we do, we're not just letting people know that you can do this with your mind and that you can have whatever you desire, and then just saying, okay, bye, end of the book or end of the story. We have a scientific method that you can actually use to communicate directly with your subconscious mind to cut off any divisions or anything that would be blocking you from getting through, because that's the main thing, is that the subconscious mind has to be exalted. It has to be back in its rightful spot. And most of us are in amnesia, thinking that we're not, thinking that all we are is what we see physically, and that our conscious mind is pretty much all that there is to us. So we have a method that goes directly to your mind and lets it know, hey, you can come back here and you can come back and step into this person's life and take an active role. And it's letting you know on that level. It's speaking directly to it. Just like advertisements and things that we see every day do, things that we don't even think about or think of on that level, like movies and TV shows and commercials and magazine ads, radio ads. We could go on and on. A lot of these ads have subliminal messages. They're subliminal, and they speak to the subconscious mind, and they produce the desired results for most of us. And so a lot of mind work is being done on us. I know some people are apprehensive or scared of doing mind work, doing anything involving hypnosis or anything on that level. And the sad reality is that this stuff is being done to you every day. This is something that you can use to your benefit to get the desired results that you want, something to fit into your own agenda.
Yes, and the 40-day master system actually bridges the gaps. It's complete. The method is complete. The knowledge is complete, so that you can, from start to finish, apply the method to your life and actually see results.
That's right, because if there's something that you're missing or that you need, you can draw it to yourself. Because, for example, if you having trouble actually accepting this as a reality for you, whatever it is that you need to find out or see or witness or read to actually start to see this as a reality, you'll draw it to you, because that's what you need. And you told your subconscious mind, or you told your higher self that you're ready for this, that you are no longer subject to just be under this human suffering, that you are actually going to your source, and you recognize that your source is within. And you're not just saying this out loud in some room somewhere. You're going within, and you're saying this to your mind, and you're doing it on a repetitive basis that's going to imprint it on your subconscious mind. So you're using your conscious mind to make an imprint on your own subconscious mind. It's going to connect the conscious and the subconscious, because there's an illusion of a disconnect. Most of us don't even go into this state of brainwave state unless we're asleep. That's the frequency that the audio affirmations are recorded in. So this is very powerful, and it's very real, and this is why we believe it's so important and complete, in the way that whatever you need, if you're not really ready for it because you don't believe, you're going to believe. You're going to start accepting it. If you're a skeptic, you're going to start finding out whatever it takes for you to accept it as reality. You're going to accept it. You're going to find those things because you're going to draw it to yourself, because you went straight to the boss and said, look, I'm not going to be struggling anymore. I'm not going to act like I don't know that we're connected. And so that's why we would say what we have is complete, and what can help anyone in the world, no matter what race or religion or economic system situation you're coming from. It can help anyone. Even if you have enough money and you're having health problems or whatever it is that you need, it can help you, because you're not looking out without anymore. You're looking within.
And that's what makes it special.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Because I think one of the first things we have to do in order to really tap into ourselves is to begin to remove ourselves from media. Turn off the TV. Okay, stop buying the newspaper. Because if we study history, all the ascended masters, whether they be in groups or whether they were by themselves, in order to really evolve and really tap into themselves, they remove themselves from the masses.
Yes.
So, basically, because I mean, like even the opening of the book, before we go any further, I'm quite sure people have been listening to this information that you and your queen have been sharing with us. Please let everybody know, where they can get your very powerful system.
So it's www.theconsciousbookcafe.com.
I mean, just the way that you and your queen started off the book, and I quote, "The entire universe is waiting on you right now, anticipating with much delight your return to the throne." Imagine that. You are the star of the show. The whole universe is standing on tiptoes right now at this moment, observing you, hoping that you will let go of the undesirable facades of this realm, the world of illusions, and demand your divine birthright. That's what I'm talking about.
I really feel that. I feel that. I'm blessed to have had spiritual experiences where I know that is real. We know that we're connected to everything. We know what it feels like consciously to be everywhere at the same time, to be everyone, and to know that blissful, incredible feeling, and to know that, okay, yes, I'm connected to whatever you want to call it, God, the universe, anything. It doesn't matter what you want to call it, energy. We're connected. We're everywhere, and it is waiting on you. It's there with you, experiencing your life with you. And for most people, it's just an observer. It's not taking that much of an active. It's not being too much of an active participant, because most of the things that this person is creating in their life, they're doing it unconsciously because they're not focused and they're not creating things that they want. They're just speaking things into existence, but it's there with you the whole time. You have this big brother or higher self, whatever you want to call it, there with you. You're connected, and it would love for you, just like Sakkara said earlier, would love for you to wake up to knowledge of who you truly are, to get on whatever your higher mission is, and to start doing that. And the abundance will just flow. You don't even have to worry about money and things like that.
Indeed.
And that's what it's really all about.
Oh, yes, indeed. And I can appreciate y'all saying that once you set your goal, go forget about it to a certain degree. As the old saying goes, a watch clock never moves. And so, and I think one of the things that need to be pointed out as well is that, many times when people begin to visualize things, things that they may want to happen or whatever, I think one of the things that really hinders people is they worry about the how. And one of the things that I learned is that don't be concerned about the how. I once heard someone say, Kevin Trudeau, not that smart. Okay, just visualize what you want to take place, and just know that you already have it, and let the universe take care of the rest. For example, for people out there who may think that, we're talking over people's heads here. You may want a new car, or you may want a new house, okay? And you visualize this new car and you visualize this new house. But then you also begin to think that, wait a minute, I'm not making enough money right now to get that Cadillac. I'm not making enough money right now to get that $500,000 house. Don't concern yourself with the how. Okay?
That's true.
Just visualize what you want. Feel it, see it, taste it. Okay? And let the universe take care of the rest. And I could see that you both agree with that.
Yes, that's true. Why would you try to place limits on something that's limitless? Right. You know, you're actually working with the cosmic force. I think that's the name of the power that Silver Surfer has. I used to read a lot of comic books. The cosmic force. So you're trying to put a limit on the cosmic force. It's limitless. You could, you know, your blessings or whatever you desire could come through anything, any avenue. If you need 1 million people in China to go to work to make your vision come true, they're gonna do it. And there's people right now who have corporations or whatever with millions of employees and things like this. So it's very real. I mean, this is realistic. So it doesn't matter what you want. It's going to happen. And you don't need to try to place a limit on how it's going to happen because we're coming from a limited perspective. You're dealing with the part of the mind that's running all types of things for you that you're not even aware of.
Exactly, and we're all connected. You know, we're all one. So every thought that we release, it goes out there and it begins to manipulate energy, if you will. You know, so that thought is connected to other minds. So now, whatever it is that we desire, you know, as you begin to think that thought and see and feel it every day and continuously see it and feel it every day, you're actually putting, emitting energy that's influencing other people. And one of the things that I found when I began visualization and putting these principles into practice is that even if, say for instance, if you're visualizing a new car, the specific car that you begin to visualize, you notice that when you go out in the street, you begin to see a lot of that same car.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know, whatever it is, I found that whatever I desired strongly before it manifested in my life, that everywhere I turned, I would see it. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah, that let me know that, okay, something's working here. You know,
that's
I'm
right.
prepared for, you know, for my manifestation. So now, you know, for those people who are possibly new to this, you know, what basically causes that? I mean, we know what causes that, but when you begin to visualize, you know, and begin the process of manifestation, is that when you begin to see the thing that you want everywhere you turn, is that basically your mind, because the mind is like a magnet, is it the mind saying like, okay, we're getting you ready now, get prepared?
That's right. That's your desires trickling down to trickling down to you, and you know it takes, because this 3D dimension is so thick, you know, it takes time for everything to happen. It's not just because every thought that you have in your mind, every picture, if it really just popped, you know, into your existence, we would be living in a much crazier world.
To say the
least. Coming from this perspective, it would seem crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like holding a magnet over like iron dust, and you see all the little particles going up to the magnet. So you are drawing it to you, because if you wanted to be wealthy or to live in a certain type of house, maybe like a mansion, for some reason, you're going to start meeting wealthy people. They're going to be drawn to you and want to be friends with you, which is, of course, one of the ways you become wealthy, by having wealthy friends. And then, for some reason, say you just want to live in a mansion. You want a big, nice house for you. You're going to start meeting people. You may not know anyone who has a mansion, but you're going to start meeting people who are living like that, and they're going to invite you over to see the house or something, somehow. Maybe you're going to start selling mansions to people. Something's going to happen where you're going to have to start visiting mansions on a regular basis, because it's coming. And your mind is letting you know it's on its job. It's coming. We're working on it.
Yep, that's the synchronicity of the energy that you're putting out. Like attract like.
And this is so beautiful. So see, family, you know, we're not victims of the economy. We're not victims of, so whatever's going on out there with Occupy Wall Street and Occupy this and Occupy that, basically those are people who, in my estimation, and this is just my opinion, they are totally unaware of the law of attraction, on how universal law works. Because if they really knew what Brother Sharif and Sister Sakkara knew and teaching us now, and so many other master teachers have been teaching for a very long time, they wouldn't be out there in the street acting crazy. They would realize that all they would have to do is just put
change themselves.
Exactly.
Right.
Many years ago, Michael Jackson basically was trying to tell us that, but the message, I think, went over everybody's heads. The man in the mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You begin to change the world by changing yourself. You're not going to change the world by marching. You're not going to change the world by protesting. You're not going to change the world by emailing your congressman. Okay, you change the world by changing yourself. So now, as we wind down, brother and sister, really tell us about the 40-day master system and give us some excerpts of what it entails and how we can begin to put it into practice to really begin to change our lives, change our reality, change our world.
All right. Okay, first, I think we've done a pretty good job letting people know about the mind, the subconscious mind, and potential of it. But basically, this is a part of your mind that you can tap into to release the hidden power that you have. And we created statements that are recorded in the theta brainwave frequency, and this is like waving your hands in front of your mind, your inner mind, or your subconscious mind to get his or her attention. It's like telling them to look at you, holding up a big red sign saying, listen. As soon as you do that, your subconscious mind snaps to it and it listens. Same way that it would listen when it sees a subliminal message in an ad or in a commercial or a movie or something that you're exposed to, as we said earlier, on a regular basis. So this is how it works. And the statements are positive affirmations that are worded carefully to speak directly to your mind, to let your higher self know that you are no longer subject to human suffering. You're no longer cut off or disconnected from God. Because if you listen to what Jesus says in the Bible, he tells us that we're all God's children. He even goes so far as to say, ye are all God's. And this is throughout all the different religions and spiritual teachings. They all were actually telling you how to become the Christ, how to become Krishna, how to rise up within yourself and realize that you have the power within. So this is what it does. This system is powerful because it actually goes to your subconscious mind, which is your connection to your super consciousness. This is what connects you to everyone and everything. This is how you can get whatever you want, because you're actually connected to everything through this. So no matter how outlandish, or there's nothing that's out of its realm. There's nothing that it can't do. You're connecting to it, and you're letting it know that I don't have to suffer the recession. I don't have to suffer disease. You're letting it know that you are aware that you are actually, you're actually the heir to the throne, because we're all supposed to be the children of God. This is supposed to be our kingdom. Jesus says this in the Bible, that the kingdom of heaven is within. So this is letting it be known that you are in on the secret. It's not really a secret since it's in all the text, but for some reason this has been hidden from us and right in our faces. And so this is erasing that disconnect. This is actually getting rid of that, and it's going straight to the source and the message is coming through loud and clear. And when you actually do the system, it's done repetitively. It's done enough to make that imprint on your subconscious mind to actually have an effect on your life. That's life-changing, an effect that will actually have some type of lasting effect on you. It won't. This is something that makes the imprint that changes. It's just like when you learn how to walk. Once you learn how to walk, okay, for a child to learn how to walk, this is a lot of work. This is something that they have to think very hard for every step that they take. But once they get walking down, they make the imprint on their subconscious mind to the point where it becomes automatic. It goes to autopilot. Same part of your mind that handles your circulatory system and all that. So walking, what's something else that becomes automatic?
The way your heart beats, your eyes blinking, everything that you just do on an everyday basis that you don't even think about doing.
Yeah, I mean, for some people, even driving home becomes automatic. So there's certain things that you do that actually make that imprint where it becomes a part of the autopilot system that you have. So you're using this powerful part of your mind to change your perception of reality, and to, even for someone who's a skeptic, to actually change your perception of reality, where if you're thinking that this is not real and possible, you will start to find out that this is the truth.
And in shorter words, you're basically letting yourself know that God is great all the time. Yes. No matter what, God is great all the time.
And if you're already aware of this and have been searching for this or looking for this information, this is something that can help you get on the fast track to actually getting results.
Brother Sharif, Sister Sakkara, not just coming from me, but coming from the entire family, we want to extend a wholehearted thanks for both of you taking time out of your busy schedules to be here with us this evening on Occult Science Radio. Y'all better start getting ready, start putting your notes together for your next appearance. Okay?
Definitely. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much again for having us. I mean, we feel so blessed, and we're very excited about this information that we created to share with the world. And we look up to you, and we know that you're doing a great job.
Yes.
And you're doing a wonderful service to the world with all your wonderful works. And that's very important, because it's all about the knowledge, and it's all about getting it out. And you're doing a wonderful job at that.
Yeah.
And thank you again for having us.
Thank you so much, sister. Thank you so much, brother. Consider yourself part of the Occult Science Radio / the Occult Network family. Peace and blessings to you both. And believe me, you both are going to be back real soon, so get ready.
All right, we look forward to it. Definitely thanks a lot. We've been following your show for a while, and we appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Peace, love, and blessings to you both.
To you and your family as well.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. And we also want to thank you as well, beloved family, for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here with us this evening on Occult Science Radio.